What is up, home workout and bodyweight exercise fans? It's another weekend Q&A here in Homemade Muscle. So I'll be answering all of your questions that you post on my last video, starting with question number 1. This is who is this? From Roy, who asks, Hey Anthony, do you see yourself training in, let's say, 20 plus years? Will you still be doing strength work or more yoga style workouts, for example? I assume that longevity is quite important for you, so I am interested to hear your thoughts. Love your videos as always, Roy. So, where do I see myself in 20 years from now in terms of training? I'll be definitely doing bodyweight strength training because strength is the foundation of fitness. It's the layer on top of which you build all other aspects. And especially for elderly people, when we grow up, sarcopenia, which is basically the fact that you lose muscle as you grow, is one of the most important factors that people's health degenerates. People have accidents, break hips and this and that. And I remember one study where they showed that the ability of a person's ability to get off the ground with as less help as possible from other objects, and specifically, for elderly people, is a very important factor for longevity. So basically, the more capable you are to get your weight off the ground, the more you're gonna live in a way. So I'll be definitely doing strength training. I might add some yoga stuff. I don't like all things that yoga promotes. There's some extreme stuff, some stuff that are unhealthy, and they're just perpetuated, just because it's this thing that is considered, sacred. And since people have been doing it for thousands of years, we think that it's also right, which is not the case. Anyway, I won't get too deep into that. But definitely strength training. I'll be definitely walking a lot, because walking, is one of my most favorite bodyweight exercises, the most foundational. And I'll be definitely doing a lot of meditation work. So, those are the things I'll be doing definitely. I hope that covers your question, Roy. Moving on to the next question. So I'll be answering the people, who started their questions with QA capital, as I said in my previous video. So in case I missed some, sorry. This one is from Reyes, who asks, on days where I don't have enough time for a normal workout, which is most days, thanks to college, would it be a good idea to use the pyramid workout with the superhero workout plan? For example, by doing a pyramid set of pull-ups, then one-handed push-ups, weighted lunges and dips, or would that be overtraining? Reyes, that would definitely be overtraining, because the superhero workout structure is calculated in a way, that gives you enough workload and intensity by itself. It's not an easy program. It's a pretty hardcore program. That's why I recommend to people who are interested in it, don't start the superhero home workout plan unless you're pretty sure that you're in a good period where you have decent amount of time to train, you have the energy resources, and you also have the emotional strength to push yourself hard. So and that also depends, because usually during times when I'm most stressed and during my most challenging times, I can put in the hardest work in terms of training. So it depends for the kind of person, but again, don't change the structure of the superhero home workout. I've planned it really detailed. I did a lot of trial and error, a lot of personal experimentation to come up with the structure it now has. So definitely don't add more on top of that. Moving to question number 3, I think. This is from Reyes, who says, I can do a lot of push-ups at a time, but only 1 or 2 pull-ups. Will it affect my training and body in long term? So you can do a lot of push-ups, but only 1 or 2 pull-ups. Will that affect your training? Well, if you don't improve your pull-ups, it will definitely affect your training, um, if that's what you ask. But the fact that you can do only 1 and 2 is great, because if you can do one set of 1 or 2 pull-ups, that means you can do a couple of those sets for sure. So by doing 3 sets every day of 1 to 2 pull-ups, you're slowly gonna improve. You can either train every day by doing like 1 rep and don't completely go to failure. Although with so little reps, it's difficult to go to failure anyway. So you can basically grease the glute every day. Just do a couple of sets, and slowly, your body will become more efficient at the movement, and you'll also get stronger. Because when you're at that level, it's not only the lack of strength that affects your ability to do pull-ups, it's the lack of neuromuscular efficiency, the recruitment patterns that your mind can efficiently use to execute this exercise. So your body is still basically learning the technique, so you need a lot of frequency. That's why I promote a lot of frequency, especially for beginners when they're trying to learn to do a new exercise. Moving on, next question by Chad Holiday. You're really mixing it up now with your workout routines. I'm still in year 1, so should we just keep on with the basic program for now? When should we start mixing it? So basically Chad says that he sees me doing a lot of more complicated workouts nowadays, and he's asking like, should I be doing that or not? And the answer is no, because I've been training for 3 to close to 4 years now, so I've had a lot of workload built up to reach at the point where I can mix different variables, such as circuit training, more high metabolic strength, high metabolic training, more heavy workouts, such as the weighted vest pull-ups and all that. But before I reached that level, I worked a lot on the basics. This is why I made a video a few days ago explaining, the whole blueprint of how you can go from beginner to beast with bodyweight exercise. I'll link the video above so you can check it out once again if you haven't seen it. The answer is don't mix it up, just work gradually on the workouts explained in my first book, and give it time. Give to your body some time, adjust that, depending on how long you're training, adjust it according to my blueprint, according to my book. And if you need some more help, just feel free to send me an email at info@homemademuscle.com. Next, this one is from Surdasan, who says, what did I do here? Okay, my friend just started working out and he's a bit fat. Will his fat allow him to build muscle, or does he need to eat more as well, or just maintain his current weight, which is quite balanced? And isn't it, he means, probably causing him to gain more weight? Okay, a little bit of a complicated question there, but what Surdasan probably means is that his friend just started training, is a little bit of fat. So, what does he have to do? Does he have to lose weight, gain weight? How will that affect his muscle growth? And this is the great thing about beginners. When you're a beginner, you can burn fat while gaining muscle if you're training smart enough, if you are eating smart enough. This becomes more and more difficult as you advance on your journey of strength training. Obviously this is gonna be like super complicated, super difficult to do when you're at year 3 or 4, still doable, but more complicated. But when you're a beginner, you can definitely lose weight and gain muscle at the same time. A few prerequisites here: your protein has to be high, at least 1.5 grams of protein per kilo. And as long as you're focusing on getting stronger, eating healthy, eating high macronutrient dense foods and all that, you'll be fine. Next question by Thomas Turnbull. Hey Anthony, I'm feeling a bit of lower back pain when I'm doing straight leg raises. Is it only when I'm doing the exercise and doesn't continue afterwards? Okay, so he says, basically, just to wrap it up, he experiences some lower back pain when he's doing straight leg raises. And he asks, should he change the exercise? Now, the reason people get lower back pain from leg raises is because they allow the lower part of their back to arch when their legs are going downwards. So this is why I've made a video how to do leg raises properly. You can search it on my YouTube channel, and focus on keeping your back flat on the ground during at all time, especially when your legs are going lower. And a good way to do this is just to have your fingers close to the lower back, so you can have some sensory biofeedback in terms of, is your back flat, is it sticking on the ground or not? And as long as you do that, you'll be fine. Maybe you're pushing yourself too hard, maybe you shouldn't be keeping your legs straight, maybe bend them a little bit at the knees to make the exercise easier, and slowly make them straighter as you grow stronger. But focus on those tips, check my video, and your back pain should go away. If it doesn't, then maybe you have to check with a health specialist. Next question. So let's see, this is from Kost Eveik. Not sure what kind of name is that. Maybe it's Greek, Kostas Evangelou, maybe. So should I work out back and chest the same day? And if so, should I do pull-ups first or push-ups? Should I only run for legs? And is this going to minimize my gains? So, Kostas, I think that's your name. Training back and chest the same day, for sure. That's how I always train. I'm a big fan of full bodyweight workouts, especially when it comes to bodyweight based workout plans. Pull push is one of the older bodybuilding programs, and it works super well. So you can definitely do that, as long as you're not doing like 100 exercises for pull for back and 100 exercises for push. You have the workload balanced, you'll be fine. Next, what was his other question? Should you only run for legs? Well, sprints are pretty great for gaining strength on your legs, but I would also suggest having a squatting exercise. Could be weighted lunges, could be weighted squats. For lower body, my opinion is that you need to add some extra weight. I'm not a big fan of the pistols, as I've mentioned in the past. You can check out my article that I wrote. If you Google homemade muscle, lower back pain and pistol squats, you're gonna find that. Moving to the next question, this is from Robert G. I see you use short handles for handstand push-ups. In CC, he probably means convict conditioning, Coach Paul Wade advises against full range of movement in the handstand push-up due to potential injury. Most other experts see no problem with the resistance going all the way down to chest, blah, blah, blah. What is your opinion? Let me make this quick. So, basically, Robert asks, when you're doing handstand push-ups, can you increase the height, like use handles as I do, on the floor to increase the range of motion, or will that cause problems? This comes back to the same like squat beneath 90 degrees or not. Is that good or bad? Should you go deeper lower ranges or not? The same applies to dips. People say don't go below 90 degrees with dips. And the answer is, it depends. It depends on your shoulder mobility. If your shoulder mobility is really bad, if you never do like mobility drills, and if you have like a really bad posture, if you've been sitting in offices for years and you're just like always like this, there's potentially your range of motion in the shoulders will be really bad. You'll be really tight up there, and going too deep might wreck your body. But if your shoulder mobility is good enough, then no problem. And the way you test this is basically you just do the reps and see how you feel. If you feel that when going lower, like you feel an abnormal stretch in the shoulder, you're probably doing harm on your shoulder. But you can go a lot lower. Just like low squats are not bad for people who have the mobility, just like dips, low dips. Now, if you see my dips, I go a lot lower than 90 degrees. Why? Because I have really good shoulder mobility, because I work on mobility drills that I'm a huge fan of. So check out my mobility drills, especially the ones I do for shoulders, and see how you feel. Moving on. This is again from Reyes. Any bodyweight exercise replacement for pull-ups? So I already answered one of your questions. Okay, let's answer one more since this is a good one. Bodyweight exercise replacement for pull-ups? Yes. Inverted rows. Inverted rows rock. Amazing exercise for the middle back. Amazing exercise for even your traps. If you also increase the height of your legs, so do them in terms of decline. Inverted rows, you can also get really good activation of the traps. Really great for arms as well. So more or less they hit the same muscles with pull-ups, but pull-ups work a bit more on your lats, but still pretty good replacement. Moving on, let's see. This one is from Persadiciae. I don't know how you pronounce that, but he asks, "Hey Anthony, what's up? The concept of pyramid is very interesting, and I would like to ask some questions. I developed a good training structure based on calisthenics circuits." Let me read this fast. My equipment is limited, but my creativity is limitless. My question is concerning the pyramid. Would you recommend it for every single exercise of calisthenics and DB? I don't know what that is. Or is it better to use it specially for certain exercises? So basically what this guy here asks, I think his name is Andrea actually. Yeah, he also mentions his name in the end. Should you use pyramid training only for specific exercises? Well, they're pretty good for, I would say, pull-ups, push-ups, dips for sure, inverted rows, and also squatting exercises. Basically exercises that involve big muscle groups. I wouldn't recommend them for like small muscle groups, but yeah, they work pretty well with most exercises. Don't overuse it. Like, don't use pyramid training every single day that you train. Use it a little bit more sparingly. I would say not more than 2 times per week. And let's see, anything else? And yeah, he's asked, would it be better? Is it better than circuits or than straight sets? Basically, I would say combining it with all kinds of other elements, workout plans, it would be ideal. So for example, if you're at an advanced level, of course, right? If you're a beginner, you have no place to be combining like a ton of things. Focus on straight sets, on getting stronger and on technique. But as you slowly progress, you can basically, start adding some pyramid sets, start adding some supersets, and slowly, you can have a lot of variability in your weekly routine. Moving on, next question. This is from, oh no, I think that was all. I think we answered all questions for today. So that was all. I hope you enjoyed this new Q&A video marathon. I'll next time.